So, Isaiah Washington, I want to know, is your career over, sir? Let's use the people deck. He came out. Well, first off, he was on Grey's Anatomy. And Shonda Rhimes, who was the producer or writer, or producer and writer for Grey's Anatomy, got rid of him because he had a tweet. This is why I say get off them Twitters and stuff. He had a tweet for the public people that said something about, had a bunch of gay slurs and stuff in it. So naturally he lost his network job because they can't have it. So now he says Democrats have done nothing for anybody. So he's leaving the party. He has every right to do so. Because let's face it, Democrats take for granted their voter. They take for granted that women are going to vote in larger numbers for them, that blacks are going to vote in larger numbers for them, etc., etc. So he said he's leaving the party. And he's going to be a Republican. That's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with being a Republican. Well, this current class of Republicans it is, but, some people are just conservative. They're fiscally conservative and socially liberal. They don't want you to constantly tax other people's money just because they're rich, but they don't have any problem with, gay marriage or something like that. So, fiscally conservative, socially liberal. But here's where he may have slipped and bumped his head, because he said now he's a Trump supporter. And I have taken the kid gloves off at this point in time. If you still support Donald Trump, something is wrong with you. From the top of your head to the bottom of your ignorant feet, something's wrong with you. If you think this man should be president of a dog kennel, let alone the United States. So, Isaiah, will the Republicans use you as their token boy, or is your career over? Six of Wands, here is the celebrated person. King of Wands is in your outcome, so it looks like you. And the Hangman. So the celebrated person has come to a point of stagnation. Now, I also want to know, does this have anything to do with the fact that liberal Hollywood has sort of shunned you? But anyway. Well, speaking of, there's the past. There's the past. Queen of Swords. I think that's Shonda Rhimes. The Emperor, yeah, the person in charge. So you hold a grudge that they threw you out for being homophobic. And now you don't want anything to do with them. And mind you, I'm not discounting your point that Democrats do very little for their base. Okay, fine. I don't too much agree with that, but fine. I'll give that to you as your viewpoint. I can't tell you your viewpoint is wrong because it's your point of view. But you do carry some anxiety, not anxiety, but the word is there and then it pulls back as soon as I reach for it. But you hold some angst, but that's not the word, against these people because they threw you out. Eight of Wands, communication. Ace of Wands. So you're trying to make new inroads into somewhere else. I can understand that. Gotta eat. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, like I said, gotta eat. That's the work hard, but it's in your fear. So you do fear things have dried up and will always dry up. Now, did Isaiah Washington, didn't he do a movie with Monique? Or who was that? Because the guy who did Blackbird with Monique also, I think it was him, also had a homophobic thing going on to where he said a whole bunch of slurs, and then he got ousted by society. And then Monique and everybody came to the rescue and was like, this brother is not homophobic. He just got caught up into this and this, that type. They did that whole spiel. I think that was him. I think he was the one who did Blackbird with Monique. Which that movie, anyway. 8 of Cups is in your hopes. So finding new projects, walking away from the old to try to find the new. And the 9 of Cups is in your environment. Let's see what's behind that first. The Magician. So I think you may have a bit of wishful thinking, maybe a bit of delusion, if I'm rude. There's some delusion, because the Magician casts the illusion, and then the 9 of Cups is a card of delusion, as in, it's the wishes card, so just because you wish a thing does not mean you get it. Your warning. 3 of Swords, heartbreak, betrayal, sadness. I think you're barking up the wrong tree. You should have tried to make amends with your core audience and not, but anyway, do what you want. 6 of Swords, there is a transition, so you will be allowed to move on, so it's not like you can't. There's your transition. Then here's you, the King of Wands, coupled with the King of Swords. So someone's in your, this is probably Donald Trump, but someone's in your environment. Someone is there. It does sort of leave you at a crossroads. I don't see a resurgence of your career. It's going to be a very long road, and there is the Wheel of Fortune there. 5 of Swords lost, 8 of Swords powerless. Yeah, I don't see a resurgence. Well, maybe you can go work in the administration.